Once again, I'm your host, Mr. Track Carson, with Michael Porter Jr. with his comment about the WNBA.
Michael Porter Jr. was on the Pivot podcast, and he had some comments about the WNBA pay. Take a look.
You have strong ties to women hoops. We mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
You just recently re-signed or signed a new deal with Puma, right? I saw you rocking the Stewie 2s, Breonna Stewart, her kicks. Have you been outspoken about the pay, the wages in the WNBA for those ladies?
Yeah, they did an interview with me. I mean, I see it from both sides. I know these females want to get paid more, and they're very talented. But so is a famous ping pong player. They're just as talented as the best ping pong player is just as talented as the best basketball player. That doesn't mean they're going to get paid the same because
they play ping pong.
It's what the people want to watch. You know what I mean? So, as much as I understand females wanting the same treatment as men basketball players, it's a different sport. People, they're not packing out the arenas. Obviously, their TV deals aren't the same. So, as much as I advocate for women and kind of the equality of the respect of their craft and all those things, I mean, you can't pay them the same thing, but I do feel like there should be a little way to make a little bit more money for them because they are very talented.
The purported loss of $40 million is an improvement on the $50 million that was projected earlier this year. They're talking about 2024. However, it doesn't disguise that the WNBA still remains unprofitable, with NBA Commissioner Adam Silver saying in 2018 that the WNBA had lost an average of more than $10 million annually since its founding. Let's just do the math. If they're actually losing money annually, can they actually afford to give them more money if they're not earning it through their craft? So men earn their money through their craft. Let's hear what she has to say.
So Lexi, you have some thoughts on MPJ's comments. Floor is yours.
Well, let me start by saying I think his heart was in the right place. So I'm not here to shit on Michael Porter Jr. I do think he started on the right foot, and then he just kind of put his foot in his mouth. And my issue with the Pivot is they allow these guys to say things that they know is wrong, and they just are like, okay, keep going, or they'll feed them more information for them to then double down on the stupid shit that they had just said. So I mean, there's a lot to unpack in his statements, identifying us as females instead of women the whole time.
As much as I advocate for women and kind of the equality of the respect of their craft and all those things, I mean, you can't pay them the same thing, but I do feel like there should be a little way to make a little bit more money for them because they are very talented.
Well, it's not as exciting.
It's not as exciting.
It's not as exciting basketball.
Yeah, you're not.
They got to lower the rims. I would watch a girl coming down the lane on another. I would watch that.
That's why they lowered the weight of the ball so the women can have more control and shoot it further. And he was respecting the craft by knowing that the craft isn't as crafty as ours. So if they lowered the rim so they can dunk, I will watch that. Is that hate? Nah, that can't be hate. I wouldn't think that was hate. Would you think that was hate? I wouldn't think that was hate at all.
Lowering the rims comment, you already know how I feel about that. It's stupid. It doesn't benefit me personally at all because I'm still not going to dunk.
There we go. We finally get down to the main thing about it. And with a lot of women, this is the problem with a lot of women. And it's messed up because even in a situation where the situation can possibly benefit a group of women and empower women, you'll have one woman that'll say, that don't benefit me. So I'm wondering, as a woman, when it comes to the benefit of all women, are you going to set aside your personal benefit
I'm not going to dunk. Yeah. I can't dunk on a 10-foot rim. I'm definitely not going to dunk on a 9-foot rim. It's going to fuck up my shooting. It's going to fuck up everybody's shooting. And I just feel like the way he plays basketball, like, he shoots a lot of threes. I just don't. He doesn't dunk. He wants us to dunk. You dunk. Like, what are we talking about?
11-point lead. Joker's got it. Joker alley-oop.
Michael Porter on the drive and the finish.
3. Oh, it's alone, and a nice cut by Porter. The Nuggets by 5 here. Gordon, give it to Porter. Oh, Porter throws it down.
Deadly shooter from the corner. Let me drive baseline and dunk on you.
Who would know? They were saying that they were getting Paul George vibes just watching Brandon Miller.
Yeah, absolutely. From body movement, the way he plays, look at this.
Everywhere he wants to go, threes and dunks for Mike.
Lowering the rim so they can dunk more, or so they can dunk, period. I would watch it. More men would watch it. Wouldn't you? If they lowered the rim, would you care? Would anybody care? Drop a comment. Would you care if they lowered the rim and women started dunking more? Would you care? And let's say they never lowered the rim. Would you care if they gave women a bunch of money and you still don't watch the game? Would you still care? But let's keep going. Because remember, they're playing great basketball.
And to find the problem.
But it's just, and I completely understand where you're coming from, but it's like we're getting shit on because our league is so small and so talented. Like,
the league is so small and so talented. They're so talented. Listen to this.
Those outbursts are hard because you have
a lot of good players.
Players on your team.
Yep.
So it's like, yeah, you'll get maybe a 50 ball here, a 40 ball there, but it's hard. And we actually be D'ing up. Like, I tell y'all that all the time. Like, maybe we'll play less defense to like up the entertainment value.
So this is my point. Are they playing good or not? Because if they're playing good, why would you have to lower the defense? It's just simple as that. Why does she have to make it seem like it's not them? It's not their defense. It's not their offense. But when it comes to defense, they're playing defense. Maybe they should lighten up on the defense to up the values. She think that people are going to be confused and look at it and say, and look at it and not be able to tell whether or not they're playing defense or not. Everyone's going to notice. I don't believe they can act that good. It's going to be very noticeable.
I completely understand, but like the people watching got to understand when that happens, like we're getting yelled at by our coaches and all these things. So it's like, it's a cycle.
So now look, when they lighten up the defense, look, and she says, when that happens, we're getting yelled at by our coaches. They're talented and they're great and they're playing good. Maybe they need to lighten up on the defense to up the value. And then when that happens, the coaches get to yelling at them. So it's not none of their fault. It's the coach's fault too. It's the coach's fault. Where'd y'all get her from? She needs to stop talking. What do you think? You know, she never pointed the blame at the talent. It never was the talent of the WNBA. That was the main thing. She wasn't going to say nothing about the talent. Even when Rashad asked her and he asked, what's the problem? She said, they say it's the talent. I mean, if it's the talent, it's the talent. I mean, you could say, yeah, maybe we're not as talented as men. We understand. I mean, you could say maybe just a little bit. But it's the fact that she never wanted us have an admittance that the sport of the WNBA just isn't as talented, especially as the men. And that's the main thing. And just accepting that. You can grow from this. See, you don't have to blame everybody else and make up a whole bunch of excuses and say Well, what do you want us to do? Stop playing defense, lighten up on the defense so the league can be more profitable? And then when that happens, the coaches start yelling at us. So it's the coach's fault. I don't know. Is that what she was saying? What did you all get out of it? Please drop a comment and let me know. Because what I'm getting out of it is that if it was a chance to be equal and if it was a chance to empower women at this point in time for the WNBA, she didn't want any of those chances. She doesn't care. She doesn't care about any of the solutions. Because when he asked about a solution, look, Marcus Porter said lower the rim. That's not gonna benefit her. He said if they were dunking more, he would watch that. That's not gonna benefit her, right? Okay, so you can't do that. So then he said, okay, well, what's the solution? Well, what do you want her to do? What? She had all these excuses and all these reasons about what's holding them back from all of this. And then it was, what should I do? What should we do? Like, and we play real defense. Y'all don't even know. We play good defense. Look, because before that, they already play good. They're already skilled and they're already great players. And then on top of that, they play good defense. The defense is so good that maybe she doesn't know what to do. Maybe they should just stop playing defense, right? Stop playing good defense so that the WNBA can be profitable. And then when that happens, the coaches start yelling at us. Where'd y'all get her from? But until next time, y'all, this is your host, Mr. Track Carson. I appreciate y'all. Drop a like, drop a subscribe, drop a comment.